Titles. Go.
In charge of killing my family.
Sassy sauce.
Anybody want to go on a sandwich stroll?
A prove it deal.
Cheese, then meat.
Daredevil and chill.
Big fella?
Jack's old games.
Toilet gaming?
Truth in advertising.
Two-pronged dong.
Is that also truth in advertising?
It's not for me.
My Lil Pump.
Let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
I'm Corpse.
Puff the magic dragon. Live by the sea. I'm Jack.
Just Jack.
Guys,
Yep.
what's got you geeked?
Well, it wasn't that for sure. This is a tough one for me guys this week. Not a whole lot's happened. I mean, it's not a gaming episode, so I can't talk about all the time I'm playing Bloodborne on my portal, which is fucking awesome, and Robocop, which is pretty good. It's not the midstream episode or TV episode, so I can't talk about how we're watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Avery, and finally at season 3, she stopped going, I hate the show, it's dumb, to, well, I want to watch another episode, longest it's ever taken. I don't know. I mean, there's really nothing big going on. I had to stay up late last night to record Donald Trump's speech for my job. That was fucking fun. Hooray for me. I don't know. It's just things are just
Hard.
weird. My mom's crazy again. My sister's calling me because she has a bowel obstruction and she has to, or a bowel perforation. She was having surgery today, and she's like, I don't trust any of my baby daddies or my estranged husband, so I gave them your number. I'm like, oh, great. You know what? I guess I'm in charge of killing all the members of my family now. It's just what I do. And out of the blue tonight, I get a text from Crystal, my ex-wife, and then a few minutes later, a text from Lana, and Navient, who I've told multiple times they're never getting paid because my mother's crazy, are calling them now.
Oh, geez.
I don't even know how they have their information. So, I mean, nothing's really geeky. We had tacos tonight. That was okay, I guess.
We're on your tacos. We're on those.
On my tacos, okay. I start off. I like the big, the big ones that have the flavors on them, like ranch or nacho or something. Put down a layer of cheese first. A lot of people don't do this, but how the fuck is your cheese going to melt if it's not in contact with the meat? Put down the cheese, then the meat. This is where it gets tricky. I put down a little sour cream, a little bit of salsa. I will then put cucumbers on it, a layer of Sales spicy sauce, or Sales sassy sauce. There's a spicy version. I know it's weird, but my neighbor a few years ago, before they moved out, invited us over for tacos. He's like, hey, you got to try this stuff on here. It's fucking amazing. And then lettuce and some Taco Bell hot sauce. But in addition to all of this, when I am making the meat, I put the meat in, I put a little water in with it as well. I add about a quarter of a cup of dehydrated onions. That's going to be great for the news segment later. Get tongue tied. Dehydrated onions. I use Colonel Season's nacho cheese popcorn seasoning. And after I've added the actual taco seasoning and it's starting to thicken up, I start adding MSG to taste. And then I take all of that, I put it in the food processor, blend it up so it smells like Taco Bell meat, and it's fucking to die for. It takes taco meat to another level.
I could eat.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah.
See, we had something that had you geeked. I love it.
You
All
kind of
right.
forced it.
Well, that was good. So, what has me geeked this week? As we talked about our last podcast, today's March 5th. The Philadelphia Eagles today re-signed one of their players, and I was waiting for this all off season because the new season starts next week for 2025. Corbs probably knows where I'm going with this. So, the Philadelphia Eagles re-signed their all-pro linebacker, Zack Baun. You guys ready for this? Chump change. 3 years, $51 million, 36 million guaranteed. So this is insane, but this is actually kind of a cool story. This player named Zack Baun, he comes from the New Orleans Saints for 4 years. He played. He was a role player, and he actually played at Wisconsin for 4 years in college. So he signed with the Philadelphia Eagles last offseason for a 1 year chump change, $3.5 million. Good for us, but for an NFL player, they call that a prove it deal because he came to the Philadelphia Eagles just to be a role player, just to be a special teams player, but he turned out to be an all-pro player, means he was the best in his position. So he cashed in this year. He signed that 3 year, $51 million deal. So I'm pretty excited. He's the centerpiece of the Philadelphia Eagles defense. The Eagles are going to be starting their defense for to beat Super Bowl champions again next year. So they have most of their players back, which is pretty entertaining. And a nickname that I heard for him because he is a bald player. So they said the bald eagle is back in the nest. I was like, I love that. That's kind of cool. I really enjoy that. So what has me geeked? Zack Baun, aka the bald eagle, is back in the nest for the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 more years.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
Way
pretty
too
good.
much
Actually,
money.
I didn't know that. I haven't even really looked
Right.
at anything. And
$56 million for 3 years. Is that kind of high? That seems kind of ridiculous.
17 million. He's the fourth highest paid linebackers. 3 years, 51 million, 36 million guaranteed. But it's quite a lot. But these contracts are insane.
yeah,
There's another player for right now, as this podcast drops right now. His name is Max Crosby. He plays for the Raiders. Paul will know him maybe. He signed a 3 year, $106 million contract. He is the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL right now.
yeah.
That's insane. So, but
Yes.
yes, but like I said, he had a 1 year, $3.5 million deal. People are like, oh, that's so cheap. To all of us, that's great.
Cheap.
So,
I
all
got that
these,
kind of change in my couch over here.
yeah. All right, Corbs, what do you got, buddy?
So for me, I meant to mention this last week, and Paul, we talked about it a little bit. So was it 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, my sister invited me to go to the Wing Walk for Syracuse, for the city of Syracuse. It's part of their Winterfest. You go down, you pay $15, and they give you a little card, and it's got 10 restaurants that you can go and get chicken wings at. And everyone has a different flavored chicken wing. Um, and you go there, they give you two chicken wings, you eat them, and then when you're done with all 10, you pick the one that you think is the best and you give it back to them. And then they tally it up. It goes from I think noon to 4. And then there's an after party at 6 at one of the restaurants that participates. And that's when they announce the winner. So but I went with just me and my sister. She was supposed to go with some of her girlfriends, but they had gone out the day before to the Cosmopolitan stroll. So and then they had a sandwich stroll also. Some of her friends did the sandwich one, but they all did the Cosmopolitan one. So they did that. So my sister had asked me the weekend before because she couldn't find anybody to go with her, that if I wanted to go. So her and I went. Um, Not gonna lie to you, it's something I'm gonna do every year now.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a great time. I mean, it was cold. Good thing it wasn't raining and it didn't snow. So that was a plus. But it was windy. So when you're standing outside waiting for some of these to get into some of these places, it's a little chilly. When you're in the places and people are coming in and out, it's a little chilly. Um, some of the places that participated was Shaughnessy's, which is down at Hotel
Okay.
Syracuse.
Yep.
Alan Angus, also right down by Hotel Syracuse. 11 Waters. So those were the three that were in that whole South Syracuse area. Then they had three over in Armory Square. Three Lives, which
Nice.
Three Lives is it's a small little restaurant, a small little bar type thing, but in there it's all vintage video games. So I mean we're talking like arcade games. We're not talking anything like that. We're talking like Arknoid, um, Burger Time, stuff like that.
Any pinball?
I didn't see any, but I also didn't get a
Yeah.
chance. I didn't get a chance to kind of walk around and see if there was any other spots. But I think there was one, but if you asked me what it was, I couldn't tell you. I don't honestly don't remember. Um, so yeah, they were one. Funkin' Waffles had one, and then the old Clinton Street Pub. I
Hmm.
can't remember the name of it anymore.
Yeah, they've got a new name now.
Their new name now, so
Really?
they were another one, and we had to walk a little ways over to Big Fellas, which their wings were really good. They were deep fried, so they had crispiness to them. They had
Nice.
four. Usually there's only one flavor. They had four different flavors, and you could take two out of the four you could pick. Um, so I had their buffalo one, and then there was one called Ed Ball. They all had a citrusy flavor to them.
Hmm.
So which was pretty good. And then the Salty Warrior was another one, which was right down the street from there. And then we ended up the other one was Dinosaur Barbecue, and then there was a place called Maxwell's. That was the last one we went to. So those were the 10. I gotta admit, all the wings were good. The only ones I didn't really like was Funkin' Waffles. Only because it was almost like it was like a syrupy
Oh, okay.
flavor.
Yeah.
It wasn't sticky like you feel like you were having syrup. Like if you had pancakes or whatever. It's not like that. But it was just a weird flavor. It was a weird consistency. So, but other than that, the wings were pretty good across the board. My sister and I both enjoyed the wings at Three Lives. It was a Korean barbecue wing,
Ooh.
so that was pretty good. I don't remember which one because we looked um last week or not last week, 2 weeks ago when she was here for dinner. Um, we looked to see who won, and I don't remember off the top of my head who won. So, but there it was good.
That's like
So,
telling a story, but forgetting how it ends.
well, yeah, I don't remember how it ended.
Corbs, though, I like your story though, but like 2 years ago I went to this wing crawl and you went this year, so I definitely want to go with you next year.
Yeah, definitely.
What was it? It's always nice to try different wings because there's barbecue, garlic parm,
Yep.
buffalo. But what I had 2 years ago was a toss-up. Mexican street corn wing or a
Okay.
blueberry habanero. That was actually really good too.
There was a pineapple one that was at Allen Angus.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of pineapple. First of all, I don't like pineapple in general. That one wasn't bad either. For me, the Three Lives was the best one. Dinosaur Barbecue was a close second, and Big Fellas, which I thought would win, was third. Their wings were fantastic. It's one of those. My sister and I would talk like you'd eat the wing, and it was like, well, is that something you would come back and get a dozen wings for? If you could say, yeah, I would come back and definitely get a dozen wings of that flavor. That was a good wing to us. That there wasn't many of those that where you're like, oh, I could see myself coming getting a dozen of these wings. Three Lives, yes. Um, Ellen Angus, not really, but Big Fellas was a definite, and so was Dinosaur Barbecue. Those were our top three. We ended up picking Three Lives as our favorite and put it on, checked off the box on the card and put it in the box. But they didn't win. I know they didn't win. So, but
I was trying to find out who won, but I
I
don't
can,
see
I
it.
mean, I can,
You were trying to find out, and your screen was getting a little blurry though too.
I
I
know.
was like, "What's going on over there, man?"
I don't know because I wasn't looking.
It was the steam coming out of his ears, fogging up his lens.
All right. So mine is a quick one. I'm excited, geeked for Daredevil, Born Again.
Yes.
As of this recording, it premiered last night, but we didn't get to watch it yet because last night Madison decided she had to do homework until 10 o'clock at night. So we didn't get to see it. I guess it debuted with 2 episodes. It seems to be getting pretty decent reviews. Um, hopefully tomorrow night I get to actually watch these 2 episodes. But
Yeah, I wanted to watch it, but now that Avery's into Buffy, we're not allowed to watch anything but
anything
Buffy.
else?
She freaked out. So I had to have a serious talk with her today. I'm like, do you actually want to watch this or not? Because she's kind of over the Marvel thing anyway. I'm like, I can't wait 3 months to watch this. We need to talk about it on the show. So she said, okay, fine. So Damara and I are going to start watching it ourselves. It's just we can't tonight because we're recording, and we can't tomorrow because Survivor's on tonight. So we have to watch that tomorrow. That's one of Damara's big shows. So
Nice.
hopefully Friday.
Very
Hugh,
cool.
it's funny you say that because last night was the State of the Union. My dad's like, let's watch it. I'm like, can't watch Daredevil. Tonight is the podcast. Tomorrow I was like, let's watch it, but I'm gonna go do trivia. I'm like, fuck. But I'm supposed to have a date on Friday night. If that date cancels on Friday night, maybe get a nice dinner to myself and hop in Daredevil and watch that
What if
myself.
you make the date, the two of you watching Daredevil?
Invite somebody over to my house that I never met before and watch Daredevil. Could happen. You never know. Like
you can
she
always
like
throw it out there.
No, she'll be like, this is a great show. I'm like, shut up, Daredevil. We gotta watch. Like, I have the reminders for Raw. I need reminders for Daredevil too.
You'd be like, stop touching my penis. The show's still on.
Exactly, Wilson Fisk.
So would that make it like a Daredevil and Chill?
Daredevil and chill. I like that. I like it.
Every now and then.
It's a foggy and chill.
Oh God. All right. Well, let's keep this thing moving then. That was a quick one. So what's everybody playing, guys?
Oh, this is the video game night?
It says it is on my thing. Yeah.
Oh, you
Oh.
didn't say that when
No,
you
I
sent the
didn't.
thing out to us. You just said D&D and trivia. So, God damn it, I would have completely redone everything. Okay. I've been gaming a lot with my new PlayStation Portal. I'm gaming on the toilet. I am gaming when Damara's still working and I'm done. Like anywhere I want to go in the house, I'm just playing. And I have played Robocop a couple times. Paul, you said you bought that. Have you had a chance to fire it up?
No, I actually did install it at least though.
Okay.
So that's
Robocop is Rogue City is a first-person shooter that came out last year from a company called Nacon, I believe. Here's the thing. They've got the aesthetic down. It totally has that I'd buy that for $1 feel. Okay. All the
Nice.
visuals are right. I mean, the music is right. But here's the interesting thing. Every other first-person shooter you play, you're running around like crazy, ducking behind cover and all that stuff. RoboCop doesn't do that. RoboCop moves slowly and deliberately. And the amazing thing is they've actually managed to capture that as
Nice.
you're playing. You are not fast. Even when you hit your sprint button, you are still not fast by any other measuring stick out there. But it feels heavy. Every single footstep is a clomp. I'm amazed that they managed to translate something that's probably one of the most important characteristics of the character to a first-person shooter. That my hat is off to them. It feels authentic, but isn't boring. It's still pretty exciting. Now, RoboCop's a bullet sponge to a degree, but he has to be because he's RoboCop. That being said, I've only gone through the first level. I mean, it seems like it's going to be a decent game. It's at least not going to suck. It did well, so we may be getting a sequel. You know, it wasn't like game of the year, but it also, I mean, licensed games usually end up at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, this is the first time this game's gone on sale, as far as I know. Certainly the first time it's gone on sale down to, because I think it was $69.99 or $59 was the normal price. So it was a really good deal. Sony did like a flash sale over the weekend. The other game I'm playing a lot of is Bloodborne, which is it's not part of the Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Demon Souls series, but it's from the same people. And a lot of some of those games aren't actually part of those series. They're separate, but they're kind of like the same thing, but with a different spin. And in this case, whereas Elden Ring and Dark Souls and Demon Souls are all brutally difficult, and it's all about slow, methodical blocking, striking when you need to. It's very, very, it's slow. Bloodborne was the first time they went in the opposite direction. The game rewards you for playing aggressively. It's still massively difficult. The bosses are incredibly challenging, but you need to play fast. You need to play risky. And there's a mechanic in the game where when a boss hits you, your life bar goes down, but the part that it went down from, it's orange instead of red. and you have a brief moment of time. If you can start striking back, you can earn that life back all the way up to what you lost,
Wow.
which can make for some crazy battles. The other thing I love about it is that it is just dripping with atmosphere. If you've ever played Elden Ring or anything from Software, you know that they are masters of this, of getting across story ideas with the descriptions on items and the landscape and just the way they put everything together. This is like Victorian London if the gods of Cthulhu had taken over. HP, Victorian London, Jack the Ripper via HP Lovecraft, I guess, is the aesthetic. It not something I've seen in a game. It's fucking beautiful. I just sometimes have to stop and just look at what an amazing thing they did. And people say, "Oh, we want a Bloodborne remaster because it's like 10 years old." This game doesn't need a fucking remaster. It is gorgeous.
That's awesome.
And as much as I said I would never go back to any of these games after Elden Ring, I loved it. I just said I'm done with playing a game that stresses me out that much. I've been wanting to play Bloodborne for a long time, and it sucked me in. And even though it's challenging, unlike some of the other games they've made, this almost feels fair because it's fucking hard. You're gonna die a lot, but it's like From Software have become the masters of giving you just enough progression. You learn a little bit more each run, and you kind of earn it. You're going to get there. It's not unfair. It's just challenging. I don't know if the guys here would be able to deal with that. But I'll tell you, I didn't think I would. I figured this would be a game I bought and just not play again, and I just can't stop.
Outstanding.
You need to try it out, Paul. I think it's free if you have PlayStation Plus. I don't know if you have PlayStation Plus, but
I do, but I don't think I have that tier. I have the one that offers like the 3 free games. Essential,
well,
I
you
think.
should look. I mean, I don't know which one it's on, but
Gotcha.
but it was also on sale for $9.99 when I got it.
Cool. I'll have to look into that one too then, because it sounds familiar. I've heard of it at least.
Yeah, it's really
good. Anybody else?
Yeah, so let's go down memory lane to Jack's old games that he plays. So I remember when I was a kid, my mom would go grocery shopping at Wegmans, and Wegmans used to have a comic book section and a CD-ROM and floppy disk section where you could get games. Yep. So the game I'm playing, actually, I found this on Steam. I was like, no way. So I was like, it was only $5. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Mystic Towers, I'm playing right now. It's an old game on a floppy disk I remember playing. So I just had to literally Google this real quick because I want some show notes. The guy's name is Baron Baldric. You're playing this old wizard and you're going through 50 levels. He's like I said, an old wizard. He's fighting ghouls, monsters, and you're eating like the fruit. Like it's so pixelated. He's eating the fruit off the ground. He's like, "Nom, nom, 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 nom." But it's just so fun playing this game, and it's got that old music. It's like, oh my God, this music's giving me a headache, but it's just so good to play this. Because like I said, I remember your mom would go grocery shopping, and you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna let her go grocery shopping with her. You would run to the comic book section and literally look for the CD-ROMs and floppy disks. And literally, this was installed on a DOS program, I remember. And I played this for hours, and I was like, this is pretty fun. I'm playing it on Steam, and I'm pretty sad to admit I'm already 10 hours into it, and I should probably be doing something better with my time, but I'm actually enjoying it. It's actually a pretty fun game. So 1994, an old DOS program called Mystic Towers is pretty damn fun right now.
Good.
Jack, how are you simultaneously both the youngest and oldest man on this podcast?
I got that Benjamin Button thing going on, Hugh. I don't know, man. Do you know what a newspaper is? It's pretty remarkable.
Corbs.
I got nothing, man. I haven't been doing much of anything gaming, so
I hear that. Well, mine once again isn't something I'm actually playing, but an upcoming one. The DLCs have been announced for WWE 2K25, starting in May and going through November again. We're gonna get 5 of them. Starting off in May, we're getting the New Wave pack that has the Motor City Machine Guns, Julia, and Stephanie Vecchier, if I didn't mispronounce that. And then to be announced celebrity character. In June, we're getting the Dunk and Destruction pack. We're getting from TNA, we're getting Abyss, we're getting the Great Khali, and then 3 NBA players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tell you who they were?
No, they haven't announced them yet.
Shaq.
Obviously, Shaq's probably one of them.
In July, we're getting the Fearless pack, who's going to have ECW's New Jack. We're getting Jordan Grace, Penta, Bull Nakano, and a special celebrity who has not been announced yet.
All London.
Heroes.
What'd you say?
Heroes.
That I might be okay with, just so Kane can choke slam him.
That'd be awesome.
And then in September, we're getting the Attitude Era Superstars pack. Jack, you're gonna like this one. We're getting D'Lo Brown. We're getting Victoria, Mark Henry, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn.
Oh, you didn't know?
What about Ken Shamrock? Is Triple H still not in with it yet?
I don't know. He's not on there.
No.
And finally, in November, we're getting Saturday Night's Main Event pack with Sid Justice, Tito Santana, Paul Orndorff, JYD, the Junkyard Dog, and Jesse Ventura.
Oh.
So once again, you have to wait until like the end of the cycle to get the best pack out of all of them. So
I would just love to sit in that boardroom. It's like, okay, let's see who we can put in this pack here to fuck with these fans. It's like, let's put 3 NBA celebrities in this.
every year they do something like that. The 24s was the Pat McAfee show co-hosts.
Yeah, so
Like from
I've seen that one before.
like why? But
Yeah, like what would be an NBA player's finishing move? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, you could do. Dennis Rodman has a history.
okay,
with
that makes
wrestling.
sense. Yes.
Does Shaq? I don't know if Shaq ever.
Isn't he a WWE Hall of Famer?
He wrestled in WWE and WCW.
Shaq
okay.
did?
Oh wait, maybe not WWE. I know he wrestled WCW with Hogan and those guys. He's part of the NWO.
Really?
I thought that was Rodman.
Yeah, that was Rodman.
Shaq was maybe he wasn't in there. But he definitely was part of it. I think he might have been with DDP or something. I don't remember. I just know he was part of WCW.
They did have somebody team up with DDP against Dennis Rodman.
Huh.
I want to say it was Shaq.
No, it wasn't Shaq.
Karl Malone.
Yes.
The
Yes,
mailman.
I believe
The
that.
mailman.
Malone.
So what would be Kobe's finishing move? The Black Mamba? I don't know.
The helicopter?
Oh, dude, you had
That's right, I went there.
Let's not pretend that he didn't just beat me to the same joke. Like that's
That was good though, very good. Dead weight.
Wow, Paul, somebody more uncallous and feeling than you.
I
You
love
need
it.
to step up your game.
But that's all I had was going over those. It looks like the roster itself is going to be pretty robust this year. Like we're getting a lot of superstars that we didn't get previously. Like they've already shown ones like Big Papa Pump.
Scott Steiner.
He's coming, yeah. But I mean, we got Scott Steiner last year, but it was Steiner Brothers Scott Steiner.
Oh.
So now we're doing Big Papa. So
Pump.
I was kind of yeah. That doesn't work when you've got pipe cleaners.
My little pump. Lil Pump.
That's what you got to tell him when you see him at the con. They call me Little Pump.
Lil Pump. I'll say that on my day. I'm like, I'm Lil Pump. She's like, get the fuck out of here.
He was like, "Yep, truth in advertising."
Yeah. Well, I'll be watching Daredevil, but go ahead, back to you, Paul.
Well, that's all I've got for that. So I think that means we're gonna kick it to break and come back with the news. Stick with us, guys.
Talking to the stranger with the skeleton flute was his first mistake. Playing it was his second. Be careful what you wish for never meant anything to 12-year-old Sam until the night he blows into the skeleton flute and wishes for his parents to stay together. The stranger promised Sam his greatest desire, but the morning after the low, warbling note came out of the glowing flute, Sam's life has been turned upside down. His brother and sister don't exist, and his best friend doesn't know him. His parents are together and happy, but is it worth sacrificing everyone else he loves? Caught in a web of unintended consequences, Sam must try to get his old life back, despite the challenges that wait for him if he succeeds. And that means uncovering the mystery behind the strange man's identity and the skeleton flute. The Skeleton Flute hits shelves on August 27th. You can pre-order your copy now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local indie, and most major book retailers.
Now, before you settle in with your snacks and beer to watch the SmackDown on Monday Night Department of Education, here's the news. First up, it's a wonderful lie. Donald Trump spoke to the members of Congress last night, giving a speech so full of fiction that I seriously think someone forgot to tell him the Oscars were last weekend, and it's too late to get nominated. In a surprising show of actual spine, some Democrats heckled and booed him, and one even got thrown out. He went on to, talk about how, the tail end of the Biden economy is bad. Didn't happen to tell us when it becomes his economy. I mean, the Dow dropped 1,300 points in the past 2 days. Is that still Biden? Canada may shut off electricity to the East Coast, but a kid who had cancer gets to be an honorary secret agent, so all is well. Don't get me wrong, that's great for the kid, and I'm happy for him. Too bad all the kids currently with cancer, now that cancer funding has been cut, aren't going to benefit from that. But I also know it'll be the blue states who get their electricity shut off, so he really doesn't care. And I don't even hate everything he's done. It just feels like we're in the "this is fine" meme, and he's the dog saying "this is fine," and the flames burning around him are the U.S. and there's a crowd of Republican senators around him applauding. Actually, that's exactly what is happening. Except he's saying, "this is great," like an evil Tony the Tiger, and the Republicans are stumbling over each other to offer other people's firstborn children as sacrifices to their God. Of course, if you don't appreciate all he's done, you have Trump derangement syndrome. For example, how could you be upset about tariffs when American farmers are about to sell a lot more? Well, here's a fact check. Yes, American farmers can support the caloric needs of the entire United States, but there's a caveat there. They can provide the calories if you want to eat potatoes and soybeans all day, but not the actual nutritional needs. Where the fuck do you think you're getting asparagus from in December? The asparagus season in the US lasts exactly 1 month. Without import tariffs, the import tariffs will end up destroying some of those imports that we get, and we're going to lack for a lot of fruits and vegetables in the off season. But hold on, it gets worse. American farmers only need about 80% of their total yield to feed Americans. That means they export that other 20% to other countries for profits in the billions. If the tariffs make exporting impossible, they lose 20% of their yearly profit. Tell me how great that'll be for farmers. So there you have it. Last night, he framed this as a great thing for American farmers, and they're going to sell so much more to Americans. But in reality, they're about to get hit with a 20% cut in their bottom line. That's if they can find anyone to get the produce out of the fields before it rots. It's a lie wrapped up in patriotism and bluster. Rinse, repeat, you have a speech to Congress. Next up, Old Man Wayne. Robert Pattinson came out and talked about Matt Reeves' Batman sequel this week. When asked if he would be filming soon, he said, "I fucking hope so. I started out as young Batman, and I'm going to be fucking old Batman by the sequel." He has a point there. As well, if they don't get a move on, the crime-ridden, crooked politics world of cinematic Gotham full of supervillains may actually just be real life. Of course, then they can submit to the Best Documentary category at the Oscars that year. But for real, we have Lex Luthor in the White House, Ozymandias running Doge, and Two-Face running the State Department. Put some white face paint on Marjorie Taylor Greene and give Mike Johnson an umbrella, and it's clear Joel Schumacher is directing this season of the United States of America. And finally, Minecraft mob hit. As reported last week, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Harriet the Spy actress Michelle Trachtenberg died last week. It is now reported that she was on the verge of selling a screenplay based on Jerry Oppenheimer's Mattel expose, Toy Monster. Coincidence? Victim of the Mattel cartel? Didn't hear anything about stopping them in a speech to Congress. I think the FBI should investigate. If that's still a thing. Do we still have an FBI? I can't keep up with everything Mean Dog Mussolini is closing. And that's the news, comrades. And remember, now that we are an extension of Russia and the United Russian American States, you don't eat the taco. You eat 7 of them because all we have is corn and beef. Paul?
Dad jokes. I ate a clock yesterday. It was so time consuming.
Okay.
Trivia time. Jack.
Wait, I got one. Dad joke.
God damn it. Now you're stepping on my shit that I stole from you from years ago.
Exactly. What did the buffalo say to his son when he left?
What?
Bye, son.
Bye, son. Yes. No. Oh, you good. You funny.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Very good. All right. Hugh, pick a number between 1 and 3.
Oh, we're doing this again.
We pick numbers again. I'm so excited. Number 2.
I know. Oh, you have the fun one. So,
I know, right?
what is noteworthy about a male snake?
Noteworthy about a male snake. They are generally smaller than female snakes.
No.
You can sex them by grabbing their tail and popping their penis out, and I think it's got like 2 prongs on it or something, if I remember correctly. No?
You're kind of on the right track, but no.
The right track is snake penis? Dude, what is wrong with you?
Come on. You're getting there. You're getting there. Come on.
They stick the penis in the vagina. Actually, I think it's a cloaca, but then they kind of roll around in a ball.
No, but you're come on.
I mean, it sounds like you want the snake to come on. I mean, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. You said I'm close. That's good enough. What?
They have 2 penises. Yeah.
Okay.
Paul is puzzled, but go ahead, Paul. Pick a number pick 1 or 3, actually.
3, because that's my number, goddammit.
In Switzerland, owning this animal is a no-no. What is it?
Typity type. It is a wildebeest.
Do you own a wildebeest?
Don't do it.
No.
Don't do it.
No. No. Do you want to take another guess? Take another guess.
A dog.
No.
Oh, fuck. That's got to be something fucking weird. What?
It's a guinea pig.
I don't think you can say that anymore, can you?
It's a guinea pig.
Okay.
All right, Corpse.
It's a guinea pig.
It's a guinea pig.
I guess I got one.
What is a group of pugs called?
Plugs?
Pugs, like the dog, a pug.
Oh. Plugs. I don't know.
A pug, you idiot.
Wow.
Uh,
Oh, angry.
I'm an angry elf.
Clouder?
What is it?
Clouder?
No. It's called a grumble.
A grumble of pugs.
Okay, bonus question. All work together now. Captain Paul, because he said no. So, Paul, you buzz in for your team. Which blockbuster film script at one time sold for only $1? You've all seen this.
That doesn't help at all.
There's
We like all different type of movies, but we've all seen it.
This is probably also isn't true because I mean, I keep surprising you guys with the shit I haven't seen.
Actually, yeah, Paul had. Well, I'm hoping he has, but yeah.
I would say something like The Godfather or Star Wars. Raiders of the
No, it
Lost
can't be
Ark.
Star Wars. Say George Lucas wrote the script for Star Wars. He didn't have to sell it.
It's true.
Godfather was based on a book that was a hit, so that wouldn't have been sold for $1. It's got to be something that wasn't based on something else, I would think.
RoboCop, because they buy that for $1.
That's my answer.
There you go.
You guys are so close. Is
So close to RoboCop.
that your guess, RoboCop?
Close to RoboCop would be Terminator.
Okay, I can go with you.
Okay,
Jack has a disappointed look at it, but again, James Cameron involved from the beginning. Did he buy that script from someone?
for $1.
What else is close to RoboCop?
RoboCop 2.
RoboCop 3, the remake.
I mean, that was probably worth about $1. So.
Exactly. Let's go with RoboCop.
Terminator 1.
God damn it.
Wow.
Very good, Hugh. You were good. That was good. All right.
I was going to say Good Will Hunting, actually.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. Not you, Jack. Don't fuck with me, Jack.
Don't do this to me, Corbs. Don't do this to me, man. Just don't do this. All right. So what happened in history on March 5th? In 1770, the Boston Massacre occurred. Boston troops fired into a crowd, killing 5 people and injuring 6 people. That instigated the start of the American Revolution. In 1971, the band Stairway to Heaven performed Stairway to Heaven was performed by Led Zeppelin in Belfast, Ireland. Wow, I butchered that bad. And in 2019, Kylie Jenner became the world's youngest billionaire at 21 years old. All right, some famous birthdays. Former actor Jake Lloyd, known as Anakin Skywalker, turned 36 today.
Wow.
Still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's still in therapy, too. He's going through a lot of demons, he says. Joe Malinado, known as the Tiger King, Carol Baskin, turned 62 years old today. And then NFL Hall of Fame wide receiver Michael Irving is 59 years old.
Wow.
Very cool.
All right, Paul, what do you got? Back to you.
All right. I'm gonna pinch hit for DC tonight. And we're gonna do the D&D with DC segment.
There you go.
So take it away.
Oh, you said pinch hit, not pinch it. I thought you said you were going to pinch it for DC.
You're gonna pinch DC? That's kind of gross, bro.
Gotta pinch one off.
Did that
Gotta
before
pinch
the
a
show.
loaf.
Before the show.
Oh.
As long as
So
you're doing it during the show, you're good.
all right, so the toilet. Let's record.
The turlet.
So we're gonna do it a little bit different, but still related to Dungeons and Dragons. You've heard us talk about it quite a few times here. What we're doing is we're doing a live play Dungeons and Dragons campaign that we are recording. I swear to God, we're recording and it will come out eventually. Where do we go from here? Okay, so it's a bi-weekly D&D 5e live play podcast brought to you by us.
I'm sorry.
Us. Wait, we're
And,
doing this still?
Oh yeah, we are actually, and let me put that back. And it takes place in the Forgotten Realms with a cast of 6 characters. That changes for reasons.
I
And
feel like you're
basically-
giving a really bad book report right now. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I am, because what I thought had a description that I just brought up didn't. So it kind of threw me off a little bit. If there's anything you guys want to jump into with that, if you want to add on to what I said before I throw it to our promo.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting too. Like we all play different types of characters and it's kind of nice. And my character, I want to now get more into my character because we want more role playing. It's not fun playing an asshole because I'm a very easygoing, nice guy. But in this realm, I'm a dick. That's kind of different for me. So it's kind of fun playing the asshole. So I want to start getting more into that. So it's kind of fun to do something different out of the realm. Realm, you get like that?
Realms. The realms.
Yeah, I mean It's I think we got a good nucleus of people. I mean, we've had some in and out with people. People not that way, Paul.
You should have got the hot dog and the bun.
Yes, you should keep a hot dog and a bun next to you while we record every episode of the show.
You don't
Just
do
in case.
that.
Just in case.
with
You don't-
with
Yeah,
the
I mean,
wildebeest.
we all kind of got our own characters. You know, like Danny has said before, you pick a character that kind of sometimes isn't as close to you as you think or you want it to be. You kind of want to be able to play somebody that you're not that type of person. So, I mean, Jack, your character is a dick.
Large.
Well, that too, but he's a dick.
What you said?
You
I
know,
said large.
Large and in charge.
so but obviously, Jack, you're not a dick. You're very polite to people. You're not an asshole. Let's put it out
Even
there.
when you're mad, you're polite. It's fucking weird, man. I don't know how you do that.
I'm just being me. Just Jack.
Just Jack. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the way we went about making our characters. Is you pick somebody that is probably maybe the furthest from you, or something that you want to. I mean, that's the key when you make your characters in D&D is you just kind of figure out what you want to be.
Yep.
See, I have to disagree there because I think that my character is almost exactly like me, but a little grumpier.
I don't disagree.
You're kind of
I don't
a
disagree.
dick.
But what I'm getting at is you find something that they always say you should go that route. You should be somebody that you don't want to be, or you want to be that you haven't been, or
I'm
somebody.
already somebody I don't want to be. So
Well, I'm somebody I don't want to be either. I mean, that's besides the point.
Are we still talking about D&D or ourselves again?
Yes.
oh, it's D&D and ourselves.
And ourselves. So that's all. I mean, that's what Danny was talking about a couple of sessions ago. You kind of want to find something that you maybe want to be, but you don't really see yourself as. That's where I think Jack's character kind of is like the direct opposite of Jack. Paul's character is kind of a direct opposite of him. He's supposed to be a good guy. Paul's not a good guy. He's a jackass at times. So, in Hugh, you're right. Your character kind of does resemble you a little bit. You're kind of a horror guy, so talking to dead people kind of fits in that realm type of thing.
I mean, if it all went to shit and dragons showed up, I could totally see me being that character with very little practice. I would not have to, feel my way into the role. It'd just be like, yep, we're doing this.
Right. So,
What about your character, Corbs?
my character, I think is a little bit like me, but not like me. Also, kind of shyish. My character doesn't really speak all that much, but there's a reason for that. So, um, I'm not very much not a monk. I swear like a trucker. Um, I
I would love to
fornicate
see you
like
in person next time, Corbs. You're wearing like a monk outfit. I'm like, oh, you really took that part serious.
So,
So-
I might say that, and I don't want to like give a rebuttal to this, saying I think you're wrong there. I think it's more about you want to have a character that speaks to you. That may be something completely different. It may be something like you. I think if telling people who don't know about D&D that you have to pick something, whoa, my chair, you're totally
That
gonna
would've-
isolate that.
That would've been
My
great.
chair lock went. Telling people that might give them an incorrect idea because there's not a rule, there's not a most people do this. I think probably most people do end up making a character that's different from them. I don't know why I ended up with, what it was. They said you had to come up with a backstory. So instead of looking at generic shit, I sat down and wrote Paul, you saw it. I fucking
Yeah.
wrote like a 3-4 page story about my character's history, and that ended up. I don't want to put it. When you write, you put a lot of yourself into it.
Mhm.
So, and I think that really shaped the character ending up being more like me than you would have expected.
Right. And I think the moral of it is like you said, is you pick a character that speaks to you.
Yeah.
You get the player's handbook and you go through it and you figure out kind of what you want to do. You go online and look at YouTube videos on how to create certain things, you can do certain characters, stuff like that. So it's maybe not something that's direct opposite of who you are, but I think it's more like you said, Hugh, it's more of something that kind of speaks to you.
I didn't want to be a sword and board guy. I mean, I play enough games, with just like weapons and all that stuff. But Magic is always difficult in games.
Hmm.
Especially video games where you're given a choice. A lot of times, Magic users have a really rough time up front, but by the end of the game, they're super OP. I figured if we were going to do this, I was going to try to go against. Like if our campaign was a video game, I totally wouldn't have picked this character. I tried to pick a character um, that was as different as I would. Probably I play the opposite in video games, so I tried to pick a character that was completely different from what I play in all other games. I don't know, maybe if that makes sense.
And
It
it's
does.
true what
Yeah.
you're saying too. Like you want to literally take that character and study, and it's like improv. It's like a theater. It's like a performance. You're acting out that character and seeing what they can do and all that.
And
Honestly,
yes, the acting is as good as what you see on here.
exactly. Well, like I was actually talking to one of my buddies, and he's one of my best friends, but he doesn't listen to the podcast, so I can talk about him. He's always glass half empty. So literally, I'm talking to him like, "Okay, you're always so negative." I'm like, "Teach me this. This is actually kind of fun because I always want to be glass half full, positive, upbeat." And I was like, "So how's your day today?" "Dreadful." I'm like, "Okay, one word syllables." I'm like, "That's where I'll get ale from." And then so I was like, "Okay, so what's up with your girlfriend?" Like, oh, I'm like, okay. He rolls his eyes back, and I'm like, I'm gonna add this to this, and I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I'm like, and he's like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, I'm just taking notes. He's like, about what? I'm like, I'm just learning how to be an asshole right now because that's different. Like, I know it's easy for some people, but it's like our show, like it's like wrestling. We love wrestling, and it's like a male soap opera. We want to really get
Oh,
into
don't
character.
say that. Don't say
I,
that. Oh my
I,
God, I hate that term.
I know you did. That's why I dropped
No,
it.
it's not. You forgot I ever said that. That was like 2 years ago or something.
You said it recently. I heard a male soap opera from you. You said don't say that. I said it recently again.
Okay,
But no,
recently could still be like, 40 shows ago.
well, that's one that comes out 40 shows from now. But no, it's fun to try different things though. But it's exactly what you said, Corbs.
Yeah.
All right.
But do you want to add anything to this, Paul? Wrap it back up.
No, I just want to end it with, why don't you guys go ahead and take a look at the first promo we released
You can do it.
for it.
I believe in you.
Seriously.
So, take it away.
Follow the bouncy ball.
All right. So I guess that's the end of it. So, Paul, is it nugget time?
I think it is.
What nuggets? What nuggets? He doesn't drop nuggets anymore. There's no nuggets. He says something nice and pretty like he's a good guy. There's no nuggets. We need something new. Paul, enlighten us.
Without deviation, without exception, without any ifs, buts, or whereases. Freedom of speech means you shall not do something to people for views they have, express, speak, or write. Now, more than ever, it's our duty to speak up. It's time for a revolution. And that revolution will be streaming.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.